Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Fumble Sports Daily Show. It's so wonderful to have you with us on this Tuesday. I hope it's been a wonderful day so far as we make our way through the work week and get closer to Thursday football. Obviously, tonight is a special night for a lot of you Hoops fans as college basketball really kicks off tonight. I know there were some games yesterday, Michigan State getting upset at home. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But a lot of college basketball action tonight. Meanwhile, the NBA has the night off. The NBA is off tonight, so bit of a different show tonight. We're going to be answering a lot of fantasy questions over the next hour as we have trades. The trade deadline is up for a lot of you guys in your leagues, so we're going to answer a lot of your fantasy questions. Obviously, not as many sports bets to give out today. I still have some NHL picks to give out, but other than that, we're going to focus in on fantasy questions. Make sure you guys are with us no matter the platform. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, and fire away with your questions because we are here to help you guys out no matter where you're watching. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Again, throw in those questions here to help you out. We're just going to rattle away with some of these fantasy questions. So as soon as we get some in the chat, we'll be answering your fantasy questions. As always make sure that you guys hit us up across our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Simon, rather have DK or Amari Cooper rest of season? I think I'd rather have DK rest of season. I don't trust Deshaun Watson nearly as much. Diego, I traded Walker III and Ingram for Andrews and Dell. Is it a good trade? Yes, it was. Yes, it was, Diego. Well done. Will, you didn't do too good on the NFL picks last week. Will, in the newsletter we did better. In the picks we gave out during the show, we actually did okay. It wasn't awful. Yeah, so it wasn't actually as bad as it could have been. We missed on a couple of games that we thought the under was going to hit, but overall it actually wasn't as bad a week as you may have thought. Jay Franey, your bet on walks with Texas Rangers. I'm glad it hit for you, Jay. Appreciate having you with us. Ray, is Justin Jefferson a must-get? I wouldn't call him a must-get. I think he's a nice get. Mr. Senju, should I trade Waddle for Amari Cooper and more? No, I wouldn't do it. Caspian C had a provisional trade. I get Higgins for Javonte. Higgins had a good game, and now he wants Javonte and Kirk for Higgins. Would you still go through with it? No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I'd still rather have Kirk. Blitzkrieg 0 traded Waddle for Kyler Murray. I'm not about that, but okay. Braden, K9 for Swift. I do like that trade, Braden. I do like that one. Evan, should I trade away Kenneth Walker, Deontay Johnson, and James Conner for Kamara and Kirk? Evan, absolutely, I would do that deal. User 988, would you trade Gibbs for Rashad White? I actually would. I believe it or not, I actually would. Cody Meyerson, I traded Etienne, Laporta, Puka for Chase and Swift. Bad, good. I spoke to this about you earlier. I like the Etienne, Laporta, and Puka side. It's a coin flip here. I like both sides of it. Chase being out with this back injury makes me like it less. So, are Roshan and Mingo droppable? Diego, absolutely, even though they could both have decent games this week. Senju, Waddle for Evans or Kirk? I'd rather have Kirk, but really I wouldn't trade Waddle right now. Letix, Cole Kmet or Evan Ingram? Good question. So I'm going to lean just slightly towards Cole Kmet this week. Evan Ingram has the tougher matchup going up against the 49ers. Great to see you, Letix. Speed, Montgomery and Adams for A.J. Brown and James Cook. Ooh, good question. I wouldn't do it, Speed. I wouldn't do it. I don't think James Cook is enough value on the other side of that deal. Sack Wood traded James Cook and Schultz for Christian Kirk today. I think that's a good move, Sack Wood, as long as you have a tight end to fill in that spot. Caspian C, Geno or Mayfield this week? Great question. I like them both. I'm personally going to lean towards Geno just slightly. I'm going to lean towards Geno. Mr. Senju, Brian Robinson Jr. or Hubbard? That's a good question. Washington going up against Seattle. It's close. I'm going to lean towards Hubbard, just barely. Adrian got ways. Did Pollard and Ayuk for Swift Metcalf? Ayuk down. Other things going on. I get it. I understand the trade. Cody Meyerson. I really like Taysom Hill. I'm just like what I'm seeing from him. He's going up against a Minnesota Vikings team that's very vulnerable. So I like Taysom Hill once again this week. We liked him last week. I'm going again with him. Chase, you're asking about Zay Flowers and Amari Cooper. Those two are battling it out. I really don't like either one of them this week. If I had to go with one of them, I might lean just slightly towards Zay Flowers because he could get more receptions overall. But Zay Flowers has had 2 bad weeks in a row. Now he faced a tough defense. Don't really like either one this week. Justin Kamara for Keenan Allen. I don't like giving up the running back if I'm being fair. John 305, better option this week. Andrews or Kincaid. It's got to be Dalton Kincaid against the Denver Broncos. Love Dalton Kincaid this week. Mr. Senju, Brown, 49ers, Seahawks defense. I would go lean towards the Seahawks defense for the moment. Caspian C, Metcalf had another bad week. Any upside or trade away? The upside is he has a favorable matchup this week against the Washington Commanders. S.J. Della, trade Debo and McLaurin for Hurts. Hurts owner is 1-8. They need wide receivers. I don't hate the idea. Hurts is the number 1 quarterback in fantasy, so I don't hate it. Jose, thanks so much for the TikTok. Appreciate the gifts. Aiden, thoughts on Kenneth Walker going forward? His stock continues to go down as Charbonnet's value goes up, and frankly, that offense becomes maybe even more reliant on the passing game to be successful. Nicholas Polo, Ferguson or Hill? Good question. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Ferguson. I don't feel great about saying that because Taysom Hill is back to being his Swiss Army knife self. But that said, Ferguson against the Giants, I feel like it's going to just be a blowout in Dallas. Purdy or Will Levis this week? Good question. I'm going to lean just slightly for the moment towards Purdy. Now, it's because Jacksonville's pass defense is just as bad as Tampa Bay's. They're both 2 of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. So I'm kind of split between the two, but I'm going to lean towards Purdy just barely for the moment, TB. But I'm going to evaluate throughout the week as we know who's healthy and who's not. I just feel like the 49ers coming off the bye, they need a win. The 49ers need a win, and I actually think that's one of the reasons I like Purdy. Oh, 5555. Thanks so much for subscribing. Brant C, thanks so much for subscribing. Appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you guys are hitting that follow button. Make sure you're hitting the like button no matter where you're watching. Make sure you're tapping the screen. I am going to give out NHL picks tonight. I know we don't have a lot of sports going on. There's college basketball, but I really don't like betting the first night of college basketball. That just feels like money that you're about to burn away. So that said, I'm going to give out some NHL picks. We'll do it every time we hit 2,000 likes. I'm not expecting this to be a crazy night of you guys hitting the like button, so we'll just do it at every 2,000 likes. I'll drop some hockey picks on you. Make sure you guys hit me up if you want all of my bets every day through the Sharps app. Butt Fumble Sports gives out every bet that I make every day through the Sharps app. So make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram, DM me to get all of those picks. Let's get back to some of your fantasy questions. Hi, I'm Toby. Should I bench Devontae Adams this week against the Jets? The answer is yes. I feel like it's a very tough matchup against Sauce Gardner. And I do want to call everybody's attention to one thing. Remember, Jeff Saturday won last year in his first start, and then the wheels came off the wagon. I really like Pierce. I'd love to see him succeed. That's as head coach of the Raiders. That said, don't be surprised if things come back down to planet Earth for the Raiders. User, trade Jefferson for St. Brown. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. What do I do with Bijan? Sit, start, trade. Brutal situation. I'd start him this week. It's too favorable a matchup not to. But at this point, if the frustration level has reached a peak, I understand trading him and getting out of that position. Kyle Benton, trade Rachaad White for Achane. Absolutely not. Kyle, Rachaad White is one of the best trending running backs in all of fantasy. Make sure you guys don't give up on Rachaad White. In fact, you might want to start him consistently week to week at this point. Oh, 555. I have Ferguson, Kmet, McBride. Who should I try to trade away for Kirk? I mean, I trade Kmet. He's coming off that very valuable week. He might have a good week this week, which means that he has some trade value that exceed what his normal value would be. Hayes Webster. Would you do Najee and Hollywood Brown for Swift and Kyron? Hayes Webster, I'd do that deal as fast as I possibly could. Trade Stevenson for Adams. Diego Gonzalez, I'd do it. I do like Devontae Adams' second half value more, and I think Stevenson's value could be going down as the Patriots. Guys, there is a rumor out there that Bill Belichick could be fired if the Patriots lose in Germany. There are reports out of Foxborough that Robert Kraft is willing to move on from Belichick if the Patriots lose, and obviously come out of Germany with only 2 wins. This would be mega news across the NFL. Personally, I would be astounded. I think it would be a terrible move. Should Belichick be the GM anymore? Hell no. He's been a bad GM for the last 5 years, if not more. That said, he is the greatest coach of all time in NFL history. To fire him mid-season would be a disaster. I also don't think there's anyone you could bring in that's a better coach. GM? Sure, better coach. Mike Vrabel's not better. Mayo's not better. None of these guys are better. But there are rumors that this could be Bill Belichick's last game with the New England Patriots if he loses in Germany. Spencer Niles, is Gibbs startable in a standard with Montgomery back? Yes, I actually think he is. I think your expectations should be around like 8.5 fantasy points between rushing and receiving. Think he's going to get like 40 yards on each side. Maybe he could go a tick better. But I actually think 8 fantasy points with the opportunity to get more, the opportunity to get a touchdown, that's still worth it. So Spencer Niles, unless you have someone who's distinctly better on your bench, I think Gibbs is a perfectly fine play. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're a part of this Butt Fumble Sports family that comes together every single day to talk fantasy football, sports betting, and everything else in the sports world. Speaking of which, I'm going to give out a pick for today. Promised you guys we'd give out some NHL picks for the show. First pick that I'm going to give out for tonight's action is going to be Lightning, Canadians, under 6.5. Lightning and Canadians under 6.5. I'll give out a second pick. We're going to give out a ton of picks throughout the show. Another pick would be Hurricanes on the money line, guys. So 2 picks for you. Lightning, Canadians under 6.5. Hurricanes on the money line. 2 picks to get you guys started. I know we don't have a ton of sports action. Again, I'm not going to bet college basketball on the opening night. I actually hedged emotionally against my Indiana Hoosiers, and I took Florida Gulf Coast to cover. That's the only college basketball bet I'll make tonight. I don't like betting the first night, the first week of college basketball. You have a lot of weird matchups, like Michigan State against James Madison. You don't really know the teams yet. You don't know the players and the personalities. And besides that, when you face underdog versus Goliath, crazy shit happens, and it's usually a bad spread. This isn't college football. College basketball is even wonkier. I'm certainly not going to bet that. So if you guys do, all the best to you. But I'm going to stay away from those bets. Anyways, let's get back to some fantasy questions. Balls deep. Who can I get for Bijan? Need another running back. Balls deep. I never think that when you trade a position, you're going to upgrade at that position. What I would say is maybe you could get Tony Pollard. Maybe both fantasy owners may be frustrated by their production. But frankly, I don't think you're going to win a trade in which you're trading one position and trying to acquire that same position. Rarely do you come out ahead. Pedro, I think Tank Dell is a reliable starter at this point, especially in the flex. Maybe not necessarily in an RB wide receiver too. Parker Bledsoe, when you do this, I give up Higgins and Jacobs for Thielen and Mixon. Absolutely not. Parker Bledsoe, I wouldn't do it. Dante, trade Devontae Adams and Christian Kirk for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Dante, you're giving up too much. I wouldn't do it. Ethan Ingram asks, trade Jerome Ford and Josh Downs for Rachaad White. I actually love that trade. Ford has had his moment of value, and it could come back, but the split touches that he has with Kareem Hunt lessen the value overall. I think Josh Downs is a very, week-to-week play. Rachaad White, again, his value just continues to increase, so I do like that play. Edwards, should I trade away Mostert? No, he's been consistently finding the end zone, and given his production, I have no problem with him. I'd keep him. TJ, should I trade Barkley, Kittle, and Ayuk for Kelsey and Eckler? Yes, I would. TJ, that's a good trade. TJ, I would do that deal. Amory, should start 2. Geno, Watson, Kyler, Minshew. I'm starting 2 of them. It would be Geno and Minshew. Geno and Minshew. J Gold 5, Bijan for Gibbs. You could certainly do it. I don't know who I'd rather own actually in that. It should be Bijan, but Arthur Smith has just been a disaster with his usage of Bijan. So Kyle, Kittle or Taysom Hill? Great question. Okay, this is a tricky one for me. I'm going to go Taysom Hill because of the variety of points that he could score. Rushing, receiving, and passing. However, guys, I do think Kittle is a good play this week. Again, the Jacksonville Jaguars pass defense really bad. So I do like Kittle this week. But Kyle, I'm going to go with Taysom Hill. I just think that the overall production is there. The opportunities to score points are there. By the way, you're seeing Derek Carr come off the field with no hesitation when it comes down to a big play, so I like it. Dante, I traded away DJ Moore and Gibbs for ETN. Is that good? It's not bad. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's fine. It's a good trade, given how ETN is played. But Cody Meyerson, if I did a Brown instead of Chase, would it be better? It would be ETN, Puka, AJ Brown, and no, Cody. It's even worse. Like no. I'm not about that trade anymore, Cody. I'm not about it. John 305. Better defense this week. Seahawks, Jets, Steelers. Great question. I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards the Jets. Now, here's why. I think Aiden O'Connell is going to have a bad game. I think he played better in a lot of ways than I expected, at least. I think that he's going to have a really tough game against the Jets, who are coming off a bad loss, in which you could tell they're going to be pissed off. Now, maybe they've lost some of the fight, but I don't think so. So I actually like the Jets in that one a little bit more. That would probably be number one for me. I do like your idea of the Steelers, though. I think the Steelers could be a very good play in a number of ways next week. AJ, I'm 7-2 and I'm in first place. Should I do Waddle, Jones, and Ingram for Justin Jefferson and Goddard? First of all, no. Are you getting Waddle, Jones, and Ingram? If you're getting Waddle, Jones, and Ingram, I would do it. But Goddard's out. Justin Jefferson's value is questionable. So if you're getting Waddle, Jones, and Ingram, I would do that trade. One thing I will say to a lot of you owners out there that may be in a 7-2, 8-1 kind of situation, don't feel like you need to move just because of the lack of challenge or because you're doing so well. Every once in a while, action is the worst action. So maybe you've built a really good team. Maybe you don't need to change things too much. Maybe you actually have the team that's going to win you a title. Don't feel like you need to get off the ship just as it's actually about to pull into port. I have Montgomery and Gibbs. I think trading Gibbs, someone else is best. I don't think that's a bad idea, Helios. I don't think it's a bad idea. You are losing your running back insurance, though. AJ, I have Brown, Christian McCaffrey, and Mixon, though. AJ, it doesn't matter. I don't understand. You're trading good assets for bad assets. You're trading good assets that have value for an injured player and someone who's coming back. Even though I think Justin Jefferson could come back and actually perform better than we previously thought, because I think Joshua Dobbs has proven himself as quarterback enough. That said, it's not enough to make up for what you're losing. So the answer is no. Michael Cowell, should I trade Kupp for Montgomery? I would. Now, I think Kupp is probably the better lock-it-in play each week, but running back value is so great. I don't think David Montgomery is going to lose as many of the red zone touches as others fear, so I still think he has value. I traded Thielen for Kupp, 8-1, clinched playoffs. Thoughts? I actually like that one. I'm okay with it. The only concern I have is how bad's this injury for Matthew Stafford. I do think Thielen, though, probably outperformed early on. I don't know if he can keep that up consistently for a number of reasons. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. I am live every single day talking sports, giving out fantasy football advice. We give out sports bets as well. We'll give out another hockey pick when we hit 4,000 likes. Usually we have a lot more picks to give out, but tonight's a lighter night, so it's fantasy football time. OMT, Kelsey for Kupp and Jones. I don't know if I do it. OMT, it sounds good because Cooper Kupp and Jones are brand names, but the truth of the matter is Cooper Kupp has questions with Matthew Stafford. Aaron Jones finally performed well last week, but are we so sure that LaFleur is going to stick to that high workload for Aaron Jones? There's a little bit of doubt for me, and when it comes to Travis Kelce, there's very little doubt. I know, when Taylor Swift's not there, he doesn't perform as well. Guess where she'll be in December? Probably in Kansas City. Carson, Josh Allen or Stroud, rest of season? That's a great question, Carson. I actually think it could be C.J. Stroud, and here's why. The division matchups. Obviously, Josh Allen's going to face the Jets. He's going to face he's already faced the Dolphins twice, hasn't he? Maybe he's got one more time, but there's some good secondaries in that division. C.J. Stroud, he's got Jacksonville, one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. Tennessee, one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. The Colts, one of the worst pass defenses. C.J. Stroud's got a lot of upside, so the matchup for me, it might actually be C.J. Stroud. By the way, I kind of like his receivers more. Now, obviously, I like Diggs more than anyone else that the Texans have, but the combination of Nico Collins and Dell, I kind of like right now more than Diggs and Gabe Davis, because Gabe Davis turns into Casper the Friendly Ghost every once in a while, as we just experienced this past week. Brendan Miller, trade Cup for Saquon. I'd be okay with that if you need the running backs. Yep. Mr. Senju, is Waddle worth keeping? I think so. Ryan, do I trade Kelsey and Metcalf for Jefferson and Laporta? Very interesting idea. I wouldn't, but it's an interesting thought. Start one, White, Kirk, or Dell? Ooh, good question. Give me 1 second. I'll probably lean towards... I might lean towards Rachaad White, just barely over Kirk, but it's close. It's very close. Junior, great to see you. Puka and Bijan for Eckler and Deontay Johnson. I like the Eckler and Deontay Johnson side. Deontay Johnson's, he's going to get plenty of targets, and Eckler's the man. When Eckler's healthy, he's a fantasy stud. Leo, who can I get for Bijan? We talked about this a little bit earlier. You might be able to get a Tony Pollard. This is something you guys might be able to do this week with the trade deadline coming up. There are some owners, much like yourselves, who are feeling that itch. They don't like the production they've gotten out of a player. They may be willing to move on from that player, even though they shouldn't. So someone like a Tony Pollard that, look, he hasn't had the kind of athletic ability post-injury that I'd like to see. I still believe in him in the running game of the Cowboys. So that said, he might be someone you swap Bijan out, you get a Tony Pollard. Ramondre Stevenson, could you get a Tony Pollard? I don't know, but maybe there's an owner who's just feeling that itch to make a move. So, something to consider. Jessica Gray, trade Kirk and Godwin for Cup. No, I wouldn't do it. Jessica Gray. I'd rather have Kirk and Godwin. John, start 2. Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley. John, I'd probably go Deontay Johnson and Wilson. Wilson and Deontay Johnson. Luis, K9 for Bijan. That's a trade I do. K9's value is going down. I still think Bijan, even the mystery of his value, is still worth the move. So, Luis, that's one I do. By the way, I never know if it's Luis. I never know what to say there. Appreciate all you guys being with us. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. That way you never miss our show. Anthony, Debo or Pittman? If Debo's healthy, you got to start Debo this week. Look, I like both of them. They both have favorable matchups. But I trust that Debo going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense that gives up a ton of passing yards is going to have a big game if he's healthy. So we'll have to monitor his health status. Milton, trade Gibbs and Addison for Mostert and Thielen. Kind of on the fence on that one. I like it. I don't like it. Here's why I like it. I like getting Mostert. The question is, Gibbs and Addison, they're trending up right now, and Thielen's trending down. I think I do it, Milton, because I love getting Mostert as kind of an RB1. At this point, he's put up RB1 kind of production. But I'd be a little hesitant about giving up that. It's close. I think I'd probably do it, though. Brock Ford, start 2, please. I would start JSN, and I would start... I might start Jalen Warren. It's close. I think it's Warren and JSN, but it's close. I'm thinking about Chuba Hubbard. Probably not. Bears' run defense is a little bit better. Herbert, Panthers are so bad against the run. But Herbert, I think I almost like Foreman more in that situation, believe it or not. Esteban, trade Puka for ETN. Yes, I would. Esteban, yes, I would. Michael, Puka for Moore. I think so. I think I like that one. I'll say yes because now with Stafford's injury, both have QB issues. Ed, JJ for Achan and Ridley. Man, you held on to JJ this long and now you're giving him up. Okay, probably a good trade, but I'm kind of surprised you're making the move now. Is Taysom Hill a start this week? Mr. Senju, yes he is. Yes he is. Luperio, Ayuk, or Christian Kirk this week? Luperio, it's got to be Ayuk. He's got the better matchup, actually. Again, Jaguars' pass defense is bad. They give up a lot of pass yards. Jackson Smith and Jigbo or Tank Dell rest of season. I'm not a big rest of season guy for the most part. I think it's week-to-week matchup based. But I'd say Tank Dell, he's a wide receiver 2, where JSN right now is a wide receiver 3. Proud Poppy, trade Deshaun Watson for Smith. Absolutely, absolutely Proud Poppy. User 1930, Addison or Hollywood Brown? I'd go Addison. Saul, trade Swift for Adams. I don't love it. I don't like giving up the running back, believe it or not. No, do I trade away Bijan and Tony away? I have Hall. No, I don't understand what you're asking. Jacob, should I start Montgomery over Madison? If Montgomery is cleared and a healthy go, the answer is absolutely. I do like the play. Is Bajan starting this week? I believe he is. I haven't heard anything to the contrary. Booty Balla, Kittle or Taysom Hill? Booty Balla, someone asked about that earlier, and what I said was it's very tight. I really like Kittle this week, but I think Taysom Hill's the better play, so I'll lean towards Taysom Hill. But I don't want anyone out there who has Kittle to think that I don't like Kittle this week. I really do. By the way, guys, I'm going to give out a couple more hockey picks for you guys. We just hit 4,000 likes, so I'm going to drop a couple more picks for you guys. Next pick that I'm going to drop for you guys, let's go with, I'm going to take the Winnipeg Jets plus 1.5. Winnipeg Jets plus 1.5. I'll also give out my Sharps play of the day right now, guys. Sharps play of the day. I am going to take the I'll go Predators, Flames, under 6.5. That's Predators, Flames, under 6.5. I'll give out a second best bet. These are two bets that I had kind of written to the side that I think are two of the best bets. Sharps plays of the day, Red Wings, Rangers, under 6.5 as well. So, here are the picks I just gave out for those on TikTok listening. Predators, Flames, under 6.5. Red Wings, Rangers, under 6.5. And the Winnipeg Jets to cover plus 1.5. If you guys want every bet that I make every day, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, if you want every bet that I make every single day, just DM me on Instagram, Fumble Sports on Instagram. We answer your fantasy questions there. Now we will for a short time, as well as we give out all of our picks. So make sure you DM me and get every pick that we give out. So DM me on Instagram today. That said, let's get back to your fantasy questions. Dummy, a little more clarity on Thielen for Cup. Trade my others. Okay. Booty Baller, should I consider trading Kittle if I have Taysom? No, I wouldn't do that. Should I trade Waddle and Stevenson for K9 and Olave? No, I wouldn't. Cody Meyerson, Herbert or Dobbs this week? Probably I'd lean towards Justin Herbert. As good as the Lions have been against the run, they haven't been that good against the pass. So I'd rather have Herbert and think he attacks the Lions' pass defense. Kevin, start 2. You got to go Pollard, and you probably go Cook. Kevin, I'd go Pollard and Stevenson. Just barely over Cook. I'd go Stevenson barely over Cook, but Pollard for sure. Warren Hackler, Puka for Higgins? Yes, I would. Warren Hackler, yes, I would. FD, Keaton or Herbert to start? Ooh, good question. I think probably Herbert's the better start given the Browns' defense. Charles, should I trade Kamara for Austin Eckler? It's a fair trade. I don't know if it's worth doing, to be honest. In part because of Eckler's injury history. Tony, start 2. Tony, I'd start Breece Hall, and I'd start Ayuk. Tony, I'd start Breece Hall, and I'd start Ayuk, I think, just barely. Charles, please don't spam. William Gregg, Stroud, Prescott, or Goff? Great question. Okay, I'm going to lean just slightly towards... I want to check something out really quick. I want to see something because Goff is a good play this week for sure as well. They're all three good plays, so I want to see something really quick. Forgive me, I want to see passing total, defense. Yeah, it's got to be Goff. As much as I like the matchups for the other two, it's got to be Goff. It does. I like Stroud's matchup against the Bengals, but I got to go Goff. Goff's the best play. Mario Perez, start White, Metcalf, or McLaurin. I'd probably start Metcalf. I think Sweet Metcalf could actually go off. Ancan, 111, Laporta or Schultz. This week, I'd go Laporta. It's actually, I don't actually like saying that. The Bengals have been the worst defense against tight ends. You saw it this week. Ancan, I like them both. Ancan, this actually might be a week where I put a tight end at the flex. I might flip-flop on this one. It's close. and can, I'll go Schultz. I'll flip-flop, but Laporta and Schultz are two of my favorite plays of the week, regardless of position. Laporta and Schultz, guys. Player prop bets, fantasy, DFS, Laporta and Schultz. Laporta and Schultz. You got to start those two this week. Love those two plays. Devin, who do I get for Kenneth Walker? Maybe Stevenson? Casey Achan, he'll be back next week. Tylen, trade Cooper Kupp for Ayuk and James Conner if I need wins. Probably not. I still don't like it. I know you're because the bye, but I don't love it. Simi, start Dak or Burrow. I'm gonna lean just slightly towards Dak. I'm gonna lean slightly towards Dak. Yeah. I take that back. Simi, I'd go Burrow. I'm going to take that back. I'm going Burrow. I'm going to go Burrow. I think Pollard probably has the better game against the Giants' run defense that cuts into the production just enough for Dak. I like Dak this week, but you got to go Burrow. Burrow. Pat, Myers for Douglas. Good idea. Wouldn't do it. Don't believe enough in the Patriots right now. Think the wheels could be falling off, but interesting idea. BK own 3. Was White for Adams a good move? Have Hall and Montgomery. I don't love it, but if you wanted to get that wide receiver, I get it, but I don't love it. Max Hewitt, Dobbs or Trevor Lawrence? Ooh, good question. Max Hewitt. So I'm going to lean just slightly towards Trevor Lawrence this week. I think Trevor Lawrence does have a good game, so I'll lean just slightly towards Trevor Lawrence. But I understand why you're interested in getting Dobbs, but Dobbs doesn't have the matchup that I like as much. Once upon a birdie. Hopefully we're splitting the difference and we're cashing both tickets. Rooting for you, ma'am. Mark Gonzalez, trade Kelsey and Ayuk for Brown and Wilson. I have Hill and Kmet. Yeah, Mark Gonzalez, I'm okay with it. Booty Balla, T. Higgins or DK this week. Booty Balla, I'm going to go DK this week just barely. Very, very close, but I'm going to lean just slightly towards DK. I like the matchup against the Washington Commanders' pass defense, so that's why I say it. Philip, is Josh Downs coming back? I haven't heard his status actually yet. I haven't heard his health status. Brand Gia, Lawrence or Will Levis? So Will Levis has the more favorable matchup. I will say that. Will Levis has the better matchup. Mask Alias, trade Etienne for Eckler. I'd actually be okay with it, yes. Jordan Carty, trade. Keep in mind, though, not a great matchup this week against the Lions. I think he'll get yards in the passing game, but Jordan Carty, trade Gus Edwards? No, I'd hold on to him. Ethan Garcia, trade Kupp for Bijan and Devontae Adams? Yes, I would. Ethan Garcia, yes, I would. Connor, should I trade Kupp and Cook for Diggs and Gus Edwards? Connor, absolutely. Connor, yes, I would. Connor, I do the deal. Mamba is better. Should I start Tank Dell or Deontay Johnson? I'm going to lean just slightly towards saying Deontay Johnson, just barely. I really like the matchup that Deontay Johnson has against the Packers. I'm going to lean just slightly there. I might come back on that one throughout the week. Tank Dell, though, I'm going to lean just slightly towards Deontay Johnson. I think he gets more targets overall. Dante, do you like Ingram or Kincaid more rest of season? I'd probably say Kincaid. Nuve DK, should I trade Eckler and Chiefs defense for Packers defense, D-Hop, Flowers, and Herbert? The answer is no. Nuve DK, no, I wouldn't. CJ Young, flex Schultz over London or Nico Collins? Yes, CJ Young. I actually might do that. Yes, I actually would consider it. Really quick, Atlanta. Who does Atlanta play this week? They play Arizona. I understand London could have a good game, but actually, I think Schultz is going to be the better play compared to Nico Collins. I think that the tight end performs better against the Bengals than wide receivers do. So, crazy to think, but where I come out. Richard, trade Pollard for Swift. I wouldn't, especially with the tush push taking away so many red zone opportunities. Booty Balla, would you consider flexing Kittle over DK? No. I got to have DK in the lineup this week. Should I hold on to Madison or trade him? I'd move on from him. If I can't land Dobbs, who is a better option? Jones, Heineke, or Pickett? I think it's Pickett. I think Pickett could be the better play. It's between Heineke and Pickett. I'll go Pickett. I think we sometimes overlook. Kenny Pickett makes some plays now. Should I trade Kelsey for Andrews and Olave? I have Lamar half PPR. I mean, I like it. I don't love it, to be honest. I like it, but if you did it, I'm okay with it. Should I start Tank Dell or Bijan? I'd go Bijan. I would go Bijan this week. Trevor Carty. I traded Jefferson and Chuba Hubbard for JT and Wilson. I'm okay with it, Trevor Carty. Tajee Spears or Foreman. New DK, I'd go Foreman. New DK, I'd go Deontay Foreman. Matthew, start Stroud or Burrow. We talked about this a moment ago. I'm going to go Burrow, just barely over Stroud. Burrow, barely over Stroud. Eric, flex Najee or Dell. I'd go Dell, but at this point, I'm kind of fading Najee at every opportunity. The Nick RB, I'd go D-Hop. I'd go D-Hop. Good matchup this week against the Buccaneers. I think it's one in which that Will Levis and D-Hop could attack the weak secondary of the Bucs. By the way, guys, one note for you guys about the games this week. We have a lot of matchups between AFC and NFC teams that haven't played each other too frequently in the last 2 decades. I was doing my research over the last 2 days, getting my sports bets together, and I've noticed there aren't a lot of trends. We have a couple divisional matchups like Browns-Ravens, but for the most part, these are matchups between teams that haven't seen each other in a long time. That is something to note. It's always an advantage, I think, towards the offense because there isn't that previous experience, going up against that quarterback, going up against that wide receiver or running back. So just a thought, this could be a week in which we see some offenses outperform the expectations because the defenses have to take all of their cues from tape as opposed to that one game last year or that one bit of experience that they may have had with week-to-week matchups in past seasons. Jordan Carty, I need another good wide receiver. Which running back should I give up? I'd probably give up on Stevenson. Gus Edwards, I understand, but Stevenson, Chuba Hubbard, or Gus Edwards would be the 3 I'd consider. Darren, 1, 2, 3. Start Lockett or Godwin? Oh, good question. I'm going to lean towards Lockett. I'll lean towards Lockett. Max Hewitt. Yeah, I got it. I got to go Lockett. Max Hewitt, start 3. I'd start Diggs. I'd start Metcalf, and I'd start Hopkins. Max Hewitt, I'd start Diggs, Metcalf, and Hopkins. Booty Balla, I'd go T. Higgins. I'd go T. Higgins over Devontae Adams. Nathan Truong, trade Smith and Thielen for Achane and Tank Dell. No, I actually wouldn't. Kareem Issa, should I trade away Tyreek for CeeDee Lamb and Saquon? I need the running back. I'd be okay with it because CeeDee Lamb is getting you enough. I don't love it personally because I don't like giving up Tyreek Hill. But if you need the running back, you're getting enough back in exchange. Dare I fax 2? Would you trade Laporta and Evans for Brown if it made your tight end 1 Taysom Hill? Do I like it? No. But if you did it, I'd be okay with it. Dare I fax? I'm okay with it. I don't love it. Garrett Irvin Myers or Madison flex position? Oh, Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers. Melvin drops Sam Howell for Stroud. Yes, I would. Here's the only thing. Keep in mind, Sam Howell has actually been a top 5, top 8 fantasy quarterback at times this year. So Sam Howell's, if you guys need a quarterback, Sam Howell may be worth picking up. However, if CJ Stroud's available, CJ Stroud's worth owning. Is Jerry Jeudy worth a pickup for the week? It's not a terrible idea. The secondary of the Bills is a little suspect, but I don't like it as much as maybe some others. Diego, would you trade Stevenson for someone like Hollywood Brown or Jones? Like Jones, I probably would, yes. BTT student, choose one for the flex. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Lockett. I'll lean towards Lockett. Nuve DK, I'd go Minshew. Ruben Garcia, do I pick up Otten, Njoku, McBride? I have Goddard. I think Otten could be a good pickup this week. Once upon a birdie, Njoku or Ingram in a full PPR. I'd go Ingram. CJ Young, Raiders defense, Falcons defense this week. Great question. I actually had that same debate for one of my teams. I decided to stay with the Raiders. Zach Wilson. The only concern I have is Breece Hall could go off, but I'm going to go with the Raiders defense. The Jets give up a ton of sacks. By the way, guys, get your sack bets ready already because Max Crosby, he is going to cash a ticket this week. Logan, Lamar Jackson, or CJ Stroud. This week I go Stroud. Guys, we hit 6,000 likes, so I'm going to give out another pick for you guys. Because we hit 6,000 likes, I'm going to give out another hockey pick for you guys. Guys, I am going to give you one pick I really like and one pick that I want you to take with a grain of salt, okay? So the pick that I really like that I'm going to give out is going to be Avalanche on the money line. Avalanche on the money line. Now, I'm going to give you two bets right now that I'm like questioning, and I'll even put question marks around it. I'll explain what I mean by this. First, Devils, Avalanche, and this is under 6.5. So the reason I'm putting the question marks around it is because the trend suggests the under is a good play. The season stats suggest the over is a better play. So I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to take Devils, Avalanche under 6.5, and I'm going to ride the trends about when these two teams play each other. I'm going to go Devils, Avalanche under 6.5. You guys may not want to play that one. I'm going to take the risk on it. I'm taking the multi-season trend as opposed to just the 2023 trends. That said, another pick kind of in a similar boat. Sharks on the money line. Sharks suck, guys. Sharks are bad. Sharks are a bad hockey team. They're one of the worst hockey teams in the league. That said, the trend suggests the Sharks are going to win tonight. I tell you guys, Butt Fumble Sports follows trends, data, and analytics. Don't get mad when I come to you with trends, data, and analytically placed bets. So guys, if you go to the Sharps app and you look at my profile, these are some of the bets that I'm making tonight. I'm not telling you to tail them. I'm not telling you to fade them. I'm giving you my bets so you can be as well informed as possible so you can make the decision for yourself. I'm not telling you this is my best bet, go play it. I'm saying these are the bets that I like. This is the Sharps play of the day I like. These are the bets I like. You can follow, you can fade. Totally up to you. If you want every bet that I make every day, DM me on Instagram. You can find them all on the Sharps app. You can follow all of my plays on the Sharps app. All you have to do is DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me on Instagram. I'll share a referral code and link, and that way you can get every bet that I make every single day. Emmanuel, don't worry, I see your question. Bijan, I probably go with Bijan over Gibbs. It's very close, but I'll go Bijan this week. Man, it's close between those two. Let's get back to some of your fantasy questions. We have about 15-20 minutes left of the show, so make sure you fire away with those questions. Start Laporta or Kincaid this week. Which one should I trade since I can't keep both? Why can't you have both? I mean, I don't understand that. I like keeping two tight ends at this point. If I had to go with one, I'd probably start Kincaid. But, I mean, I like them both. Again, I like them both. I'd probably start Kincaid, but I might even start them both. Aiden Fogo, Devontae Adams thoughts? Bad matchup this week. Aiden, bad matchup this week against those Jets. Ray Dog, trade Taysom Hill for Taylor and Olave. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because I like getting Jonathan Taylor. What are some of the best defenses to start this week? I do like the Jets and I do like the Raiders. I know they're playing each other, but those are two defenses that I like this week. I could see Dallas having a monster week. Dallas could have a really big game. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers could be a defense that could be successful this week. So those are a few that come to mind. Forgive me, I need to clear my throat. Should I trade Bijan for Pollard? We talked about that earlier. User, not a bad idea. Gage B, Mahomes and Ramondre Stevenson for Taylor, Lawrence, and Scary Terry. Probably. I don't like giving up Mahomes, but probably Gage. Braden, trade Bijan and K9 for Scary Terry and Stevenson. I guess. It's okay. It's okay. It's not great, though. Max Hewitt, 49ers or Raiders defense. Oh, Raiders defense. Raiders defense. Zach, B22. Start 2. Adams, Johnson, Ayuk, McLaurin, or Garrett Wilson. I'd start Ayuk, and I'd start Deontay Johnson. Zach, I'd go Ayuk and Deontay Johnson. Royaz, are we looking to trade Kamara? No, I'd keep Kamara. Ooh. Voice is going midweek, guys. That's not a good sign. Means we've been live a lot over the last few weeks. To answer the pin tweet, I'd go Lockett. To answer that pin tweet, I'd go with Lockett. Dean Suter, I'd go Stroud. Dean Suter, I'd go Stroud just barely. Easy, Adams got Pollard. I don't know what that means. You traded Adams and got Pollard? Okay. Michael Cal, Thielen and Cup for Waddle, Fields, and Kirk. Yes, I would. Michael Cal, yes, I would. Michael Lane, Hollywood Brown, good start this week. I don't really know what we're getting out of Kyler. If you need to start him, okay, but I don't know what you're going to get. Tony Salty, start one. I'm going to say start Schultz. I really wish you could start both, Tony. I might consider both, but Schultz is the better play, I think, because the Bengals are so bad against the tight end. User 8897, should I trade Garrett Wilson? Yes. Yes. Jake Lana, Bijan and Cortland Sutton for Rashad White. No, you're giving up too much value, I think. You could probably give up Bijan for Rashad White straight up. Alejandro Brito, Bijan for Taysom Hill and Bourne. Bourne's out for the year. You should know Bourne is out for the year with injuries, so that's not a good trade. Brock Ford, trade Tua for Mixon or Rashad White. Yes, I would. Yes, I would, Brock Ford. Renee Aziz, start two. I would start... Man, I like all three. I'd start Montgomery and Ayuk, I think. Renee, I'd start Montgomery and Ayuk, I think. Doley, trade Brian Robinson Jr. and Komet for Achan. I have Laporta. I don't really like it. I don't think you're getting enough, actually. You don't know what Achan is. We know he's coming back, but I don't know. I don't really like it. Cody Meyerson, Achan or Bijan and Puka for Justin Jefferson. Cody, if you're trading Achan and Puka for Jefferson, I'd do it. Bear Wiggy, I'd go Kirk, McLaurin, and Lockett. Bear Wiggy, I'd go Kirk, McLaurin, and Lockett. Darren123, trade Myers and Najee for Komet and Lockett. Yes, I would. Darren123, yes, I would. New DK, I'd go Taysom Hill. New DK, I'd go Taysom Hill. Consider trading Mostert and Gibbs or keep both. BTT, I'd keep both. And I like them both. I'd go Eckler. I'd go Eckler. I like them both, though. I should say Breece Hall. I should say Breece Hall. He's the better start. But Eckler, I think, is going to have a good rushing and receiving. Breece Hall is the better rushing play. Eckler's the better all-around play. So, should I pick up Murray if I have Burrow? No. No, you shouldn't. Mo Ba. James Conner for Hollywood Brown. How has he not seen this? Mo Ba. I just saw it. It doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather have Hollywood Brown, but... Mrs. Goff or Stroud. I'd go Goff. Goff over Stroud this week. AJ, I'd go Bijan. AJ, I'd go Bijan. Nosebleed Fantasy, Kelsey on a bye. Need a tight end who can go for question mark. Pin this. Okay. Some tight ends to consider. If Logan Thomas is available, certainly consider him. I think Hunter Henry is certainly someone you could consider as well. A lot of these tight ends are kind of getting known now. If Kittle is somehow available in your league, I'd go for it. Jonnu Smith at this point is worth picking up if you don't have a tight end. So those are some options. Ferguson for Montgomery. Adam, I'd do it. Adam, I would do it. You said McLaurin, Kirk, and Lockett. Bear Wiggy. Yes, I did. Should I trade Downs for Flowers? New DK. Yes, I would. New DK. Yes, I would. Mauio. Waller was dropped in my league. Should I stash him on IR? You can, but I don't know if you're ever going to get anything from him. Senor Jerky Beef. I'd go Bijan this week. I'd go Bijan. Niner Gang. Trade Thielen for Ayuk and Wilson. Absolutely, Niner Gang. Absolutely, I'd do that deal. John Gonzalez. I'd start Goff. Nosebleed Fantasy. I'd go Schultz just barely. I like them both, but I'll go Schultz. Hey, Pawpaw 16, trade Kincaid for Montgomery. If you have enough tight end depth, yes. Atharv, Mixon and Dotson for Jones. No, I wouldn't. Fish 9, Russ or Will Levis? I'd go Will Levis. Noah, should I trade Montgomery and Downs for Thielen? No, I wouldn't. Mr. Chuck, DK for Devontae Adams. Kind of on the fence about it. This week, I think DK is the better play, so. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button on the video if you could. Helps the algorithm learn about Butt Fumble Sports and helps promote our video. If you're obviously watching on TikTok, hit that follow button. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports. We are live every single day, every weekday at 5 p.m., every weekend at 10 a.m. So Monday through Friday, 5 p.m., we're live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. And on the weekends, we do our pregame show before college football and the NFL. Make sure you never miss Butt Fumble Sports. Hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. That way you never miss our show, and you're always there when we're giving out advice and giving out picks. Luis, K9 for Bijan and Fields. Absolutely, Luis, I'd do it. New DK, pick 1. I'd go Addison, maybe. No, I'd go Davis. New DK, I'd go Davis. He's due. Andy's at home. Andy's against a bad defense. I'd go Gabe Davis. Niner gang, I traded Jalen Hurts for JT and Thielen. It's okay. I don't love giving up Hurts, but I get it. BTT student, trade Henry for CD Lamb. Yes, I would. BTT student, I'd rather have CD Lamb. Kike is Guap, Browns defense or pick up Raiders or Seahawks? I'd pick up the Raiders or the Seahawks. Seahawks are going to get a ton of sacks. Raiders are going to get a ton of sacks. Those are two defenses worth picking up. By the way, when it comes to player prop bets, Seahawks, Raiders, again, tons of sacks this week. So look to get a couple of defensive players on sack player prop bets. Nick, Thielen and Kenneth Walker for Kupp and Pacheco. Nick, love it. If you're getting Kupp and Pacheco, I love it. Will, traded Williams for McLaurin. It's a fair trade, Will. I'm okay with it. Austin Graff, start Herbert or Purdy? Great question. Austin, I'm going to lean just slightly towards Purdy, I think. I know it's crazy, but it's a better matchup. Come to me later in the week. If Deebo Samuel isn't healthy enough to go, we'll switch back over to Herbert, but for the moment, I'll say Purdy's the better play. Thoughts on Kirk and Moore and Tank Dell and Hill as tight end for this week? Oh, love the team. Yeah, love the team. Taysom Hill is a tight end. Love the team, Louis. Joseph, trade Lockett and Jones for Metcalf and Javonte Williams. I don't really love it. I'd rather have Lockett and Jones, I think. It's close, though. Aaron Medley, why you say trade Garrett Wilson? Because Zach Wilson. That's why. Antcan 111, thoughts on Lamar Jackson this week? Not a good matchup, not a week to start him. Don't really like Lamar Jackson this week. Appreciate all of you guys being with us, no matter the platform. Make sure you guys are reaching us off the air. You can hit us up. Feedback at buttfumblesports.com is our email. Feedback at buttfumblesports.com. We love hearing from you guys. Love getting feedback from you, so make sure you follow up and hit us up. Mike, Thielen Brown or Calvin Ridley this week? Man, tight. Mike, I'll probably go Thielen. Mike, I'll go Thielen. Desmond Ford, start 1. I'm going to say Raiders defense. I'll say Raiders. Luca, Warren, Herbert, Downs, Pickens at the flex. I'll lean for the moment towards Herbert. I don't love it, but I'll lean towards Herbert just barely. Gabe, I'd go Purdy over Kyler. Gabe, Purdy over Kyler. Jordan Cardi, I have Bijan and Kenneth Walker. Should I trade one of them away? Sure. Mrs. Ingram or Laporta? Mrs. ECUA. I'd go with Laporta. Is Amari a good start against Baltimore? Nope, he's not. BTT student, trade Pittman and Waddle for Amon-Ra St. Brown. You might be giving up a little bit too much in that deal, BTT student. Concerned citizen, trade Pacheco for Etienne? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Appreciate all of you guys being with us, no matter the platform, no matter the day, no matter the time. This is the best audience around. Really appreciate all you guys. And for all of those moderators out there, really appreciate all of you guys helping out with the show every single day. To a shout out to our moderators, all of you guys, thank you guys so much for helping me out. You guys make the show go so smoothly. We've had a really easy time. Again, if you guys want every bet that I make every single day, Jason DM'd me on Instagram and is like, can I get your bets for today? Jason, you're going to get every bet that I ever make because you just got the referral code in the link on the Sharps app. Every bet that I make every day shows up. So if you guys want every bet that I make every day, all you have to do is DM me on Instagram, Fumble Sports on Instagram. I'll give you the referral code and link. It is never behind a paywall. My picks are always for free. Gabe, I'd go Purdy over Howell. Gabe, Purdy over Howell. Kyle, I wouldn't say rest of season. I think it's a week-to-week thing. So I like Sharks on the money line. Stephen Pock, you know I'm going to take the chance on that. Stephen Pock, let's ride it together, buddy. Let's see if we can cash on one of the worst teams in the NHL. Nuve DK, should I start Addison or JSN over Cooper? I'll go Addison just barely. I like Addison and JSN, but JSN being wide receiver 3 is what makes me go with Addison just barely. Luca, I'd go Goff. Luca, Goff over Herbert. Goff over Herbert. I love when I'm like, I'm not big on rest of season questions. Then people are like asking a ton of rest of season questions. Austin Green, I'd go Taysom Hill. Austin Green, I'd go Taysom Hill. Desmond Ford, I'd go Taysom Hill. Zach Holloway, trade Hawkinson, Moore, and Walker for Chase and Saquon. Yes, I would. Zach, yes, I would, even with Chase potentially being out this week. Lorenzo, I'd rather have K9. Phoenix, what's a good trade for Devontae Adams? Could you get T. Higgins? Like, that's maybe a similar play across the same position. Frankly, a running back that you could get. Could you get Breece Hall? Probably not. That's probably a reach. You could get Rachaad White plus somebody else, like Rachaad White plus Tank Dell. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Dean Suter. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson. I just think he's going to get more targets. I like London's matchup, but coming off the injury, Dean, I'll go Deontay Johnson. CPS, any chance Chase plays? There is a chance, but I think they're going to sit him out. Jones Nation, Stroud or CJ, Goff or Stroud. Jones Nation, I'd go Goff. Jones Nation, I'd go Goff. William Fenton, who should I start? Starters right now is Goff, love it. Jacobs, like it. Mixon, like it. Chase, Thielen, Laporta, Dell, Seahawks and Folk on the bench. Gibbs, Jones. I really like the team overall. You might want to slot in Terry McLaurin for Chase if he isn't available to play, but it's a really solid lineup. Marco, trade away Jones or Walker. I trade away Walker. Diego, what happened to Chase? He landed on his lower back, and that's just an area that spazzes up really easily in the days afterwards. So, what does that mean? Sorry, new to bets. By the way, guys, if you don't understand something about fantasy, sports betting, or just sports in general, we're here to help you out. There is no judgment here. I started a company called Fumble Sports that has a logo with ass cheeks. I'm certainly not above anybody, and I'm more than happy to help you out. It's never patronizing. It's always to genuinely help you out. So, Kike, Guap, money line means I'm picking that person. I'm picking that team to win. I'm picking that team to win. I'm taking them to win. That's what the money line means. If I took it on the spread, it means I'm taking that team to win or to lose, but based on the number of points that's associated with the spread. So if you see a spread that's like for example in basketball plus 6.5, it means that team needs to either win by 7 or lose by less than 7, depending on if there's a plus or a minus sign. But when you see money line, Kike is Guap, money line means I want that team to win. I'm picking that team to win tonight. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Thoughts on Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp's entire value is all based on Matthew Stafford. By the way, you want to hear something scary? The Rams just got Carson Wentz. They signed Carson Wentz today. That tells you where things are. Might mean we're in a similar situation as we were last year with Baker Mayfield getting signed by the Rams. Do you think Mitchell will continue to perform? Nuve DK, I don't love his matchup this week, but Mitchell kind of reminds me of Achan, which is if you've got a ton of speed, you're gonna score points. So I actually do like Keontae Mitchell. Luca, I'd go Devontae, I think. Wait, is that... I hope it's Devontae Adams. I'd go him just barely over JSM. Marco, I'd go Ayuk barely over Higgins. If Chase doesn't play, we might like Higgins more. Is Gus Edwards worth keeping over Schultz? Yes. The answer is yes. Anbu, is Robert Woods, Shakir, or Zay Jones worth an ad from waivers? No, no, no. If any of them are, I think it's Shakir. DJ Moore or Barkley? I'd go Barkley. No. I'm going to say Saquon. I'll say Saquon. BG Gomez was offered Mahomes, St. Brown for Stroud and A.J. Brown. It's a fair trade. It's actually a fair trade. I like it. It's a fair trade. Thoughts on Gus Edwards this week? I don't really like his I don't like his matchup. Tyler Ola, Kincaid, Laporta, or Kittle this week in my 8. You just named 3 of the 4. There are 4 tight ends I love this week, guys. There are 4 tight ends that I absolutely love. Kincaid, Laporta, Kittle, and Dalton Schultz. Those 4 tight ends, if you're starting one of them, you can't go wrong. I love all 4 of them. Hard to pick amongst them. Tyler Ola, I think I'll go Kincaid, but it's so close. All 4 of them have amazing matchups. Love them all. Who should I trade Cup for? I don't know. If you need a running back, if you need a wide receiver, I think it really depends. Ryan Turner traded Mostert for Javonte Williams. My running backs are Etienne and Breece Hall. I'd rather have Mostert. I don't understand that trade. I don't get that one. Gibbs for Achan? No. Anthony, I wouldn't do it. Trade JT and Andrews for Kelsey? No, I wouldn't do it, Random. No, I wouldn't do it. Awareness. Montgomery is RB2. I think Montgomery is still RB1 on his team. I think Montgomery is still going to get a majority of the opportunities, especially in the red zone. Guys, it has been an hour-long show. Unfortunately, I've got to run off and do some other things. I actually have some things tonight. So I want to make sure that you guys aren't getting shut out. We will do a show tonight, guys. We will do a show later tonight. So make sure you guys are hitting that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. We will do another show tonight, guys. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. I will do another show tonight because it's such a quiet night in sports. I'll come back on later tonight. I have to run off right now to a dinner. So that said, I will be live later tonight. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're following us. We will be live later tonight to answer more fantasy questions, sports betting questions, answering trade questions, whatever you guys need. So Anthony, yeah, he does have a bad matchup. So guys, make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys later tonight. Big shout out to all of our regulars. Big shout out to all those loyal butt fumblers that show up every single day. Really appreciate all of you guys so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will catch you guys later this evening. I hope you stay healthy. I hope you stay safe, and I will catch you guys later this evening.